Hello, hello, hello. I'm Kitty, and a friend of mine asked me to share my digital art process. So I just kind of came up with something quick. I'm getting distracted by watching the video and forgetting I have to do the voiceover. But sketching is all about like coming up with an idea. It's kind of like a thumbnail, if you will. Here I'm refining the sketch, add things, take away things, figure out what I want, what I don't want. Just kind of like the pre-phrase to, I guess, inking. I like to be messy with my art, unless I'm on Procreate. In that case, I'm not messy. I think that's the cleanest my art has ever been on there. I added a butterfly because I thought it was pretty, and then we went on a whole journey with the butterfly. Playing with brushes, because I'm too. I found a brush I liked and decided to go with it. I like fuzzier looking brushes that are pressure sensitive, so they kind of taper off at the ends. Kind of just went in all messy like. I had a lot of fun doing her little furs. Her eyes were fun to shape, and then I just, fill out the rest of it. Procreate makes me feel like I have to be so neat. Same thing with digital art, and that's not me. I cannot do that. Then I look up a reference for the butterfly, finally. And now it's a moth. It's a moth now. This was a whole journey with this little moth. I swear. But it was a Luna moth. So I thought that was pretty, and I was like, oh, that'll probably go with the whatever colors I'm gonna pick. Newsflash, it didn't. Here I'm coloring in all the lines and things, and then realizing that I do not need to color it in like Procreate, but then doing it anyways because it's what I'm comfortable with. Why change it when it works sometimes? You know what? That's not even a good analogy. I'm just filling in all the gaps, trying to fill out everything that I might have missed. I do this a few times, actually, because even when you're looking at it like this, you're like, oh, I still can't see quite everything. So once you zoom in on the face, you realize, oh, hey, I have quite a bit. Decided to use a color generator because that makes my life easier and less stress picking out colors. I start to play around with the markings and the patterns a bit. I don't like doing the markings and patterns and things like that in the inking phase, but I will sometimes do them in the sketch phase. I didn't really need to look up a reference. I own tabby cats. I love them to bits and pieces. And Pinterest is a thing. I'm going to look at cats and no one will be able to stop me. I go in with another darker color that was also from the color generator. And I just kind of fill out some spots, play with some things, and then see what I like, see what I don't like. Art is just a whole process. It's not one step after another. It can be very abstract sometimes, and that's really upsetting to some people, but once you find your way, everything's okay. I played with the nose a bit because I thought it kind of looked weird. Then I went in with some white because, a little white snoot for your little white tabby. Why wouldn't I do that? That's not a white tabby. My brain's not working. I put a star by the eye because, again, I am too. But here I'm going to go into the eyes. I find eyes really fun. They do not need to be complex or anything. As long as they somewhat match your art as in like a whole, it should be fine. It won't look weird or out of place or anything, but just two different colors for the eyes. It depends on what animal it is on how I do the eyes, but I typically shape them all similarly. I darken the lines a bit because the gray color was just not working. It was actually really, really dark, but then I used darker colors than that, so oh well. I play with the Luna Moth a bit, and then I start playing with colors and things, and then I realize this is too hard. This is supposed to be a quick little illustration that I can make a video of. I did have fun with it though. I started like trying to reference the Luna Moth photo that I had pulled up earlier. And I got pretty close. I got okay, but I wasn't looking at it. I was like, oh, hey, maybe I can blend this out and see what happens. Again, art is a process. It is not set in stone on how you do it. It is all over the place sometimes, and this is one of those times. I did more of the teal color because I was like, this is enough, and I played around with more brushes. I'm definitely a 2-year-old. I scrolled out to see how it like would look with a whole cat, and decided that was probably best. So I kind of went with a Korra the Last Avatar sort of spirity vibe and put it on the ear, because why not? It's my own world. I can do what I want. Playing with the layers, that was exhausting. Then I was like, oh hey, I'll add another Luna Moth in. That did not end up happening. I gave up on that maybe a little too quickly. I just couldn't figure out how to flip it, and then I was like, oh, it probably wouldn't really fit there anyways. But you're gonna see me try and try and try, and it just nothing would work. I really tried, okay? I tried. I did my best. And then I gave up and was like, nope, this is... If it was an actual illustration, I probably would have taken a lot more time on it. I mean, this is an actual illustration. This is a speed paint for all I care. Here I'm going in with shadows. I wanted the light to be coming from the moth, so make sure you have your light source in mind. And just kind of filled in all the areas where the light wouldn't really hit. Keep in mind, bone structure and anatomy is very important for this. And sometimes fur just doesn't work with you, but I have a very cartoonish kind of style, so it was really easy to figure out where everything should go. Now I'm going in with highlights, the exact same color, pressing the add button, and then playing with the opacity. I pressed the multiply button for the shade shadows too, and then I played with more brushes because I am baby. I'm actually kind of proud of how this turned out, especially since it was only a thing that I took like an hour on. Here I'm going in with the moth because I wanted her to be shiny and pretty, and it was a lot of fun to draw. I play with more brushes because I'm looking for a specific brush and I cannot find it. It took me a while to find it, but I eventually found it. Still not the brush I'm looking for, I promise. This is when I started highlighting the eyes and the nose too. This is the brush I was looking for. Kind of filled things in. It looks a little weird, but once I blend it out a bit, it works a lot better. Then I play around with the highlights and the eyes and the nose, and maybe mess around with them a bit more on the moth too. Then I decided to fill in the background color because the light gray just wasn't working anymore. I put in my signature. It's been copyrighted by me. This is the finished product. I don't know. It's cute, I guess. It was a lot of fun to draw. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye-bye.